Welcome to the show. This is No Interference. We are your host, Westside, Big Sass, and the Bull. Football is officially back. The Bills and the Rams have kicked off to start the season. We got an exciting game on our hands, but we're just going to dive into things. So, with the inaugural. I'm illiterate. Well, with the opening of the season, I figured we could do our much too early Super Bowl predictions, lock it in on the show, and we'll see if any of us are actually somewhat intelligent. Obviously, I'm not. I already proved that. I already have mine, so if you guys aren't ready, I can drop my predictions.
I'd like to hear what you have to say first.
All right. Put money on the table. Representing the AFC, the Buffalo Bills. Representing the NFC, the Philadelphia Eagles.
I wish you wouldn't put that on me, Ricky Bobby.
Would you put that on me?
Well, here's the thing. I think the Bills are stacked, and the Chargers. If the Chargers were any other team, if it was the friggin' Idaho Whalers, I would be like, okay, Chargers are going to the Super Bowl. But the fact that it's the Chargers, I don't know. They're cursed. So I think you go with the Bills. So they're the next best team. They're well-rounded. Josh Allen has a chip on his shoulder. And in the NFC, I don't like anyone in the NFC. Eagles, good O-line, good defense, tons of weapons, dual-threat quarterback. Why not?
I agree with half of your prediction with the Bills making the Super Bowl, representing the AFC. The NFC is tough this year. I'm personally defaulting to the Rams because they're the Super Bowl defending Super Bowl champions. I don't love the Packers without Devontae Adams. I still think they'll win. I can't remember what our predictions were for them, their win total, but I think it was around 11-ish.
Mm-hmm.
San Francisco's kind of handicapped to what Trey Lance is going to be, and that's how I feel about the Eagles too. Even though we had the Eagles winning like 13 games or 12 games, whatever it was in our predictions, I'm pretty sure we're all assuming Jalen Hurts is going to take a leap this year. If Jalen Hurts plays at a Pro Bowl level, I think I'm optimistic that the Eagles can make a playoff run. If Trey Lance plays at a Pro Bowl level, San Francisco can make a playoff run. But I'm going to give it to the Rams as my first prediction. Super Bowl prediction, just because they're gonna give them the respect. We'll see how this game plays out right now. Right now, it's looking like the Matthew Stafford tendonitis might hold them back this year. It's a joke, obviously, but
don't you ever question his toughness again. He's a national hero.
Josh Allen looks like he could be the best quarterback in the NFL this year.
I think he was the best quarterback in the NFL last year.
He had a good year. Not as good as the previous year. Playoff Josh Allen was incredible.
He had a near perfect game against the Patriots, and then he went down to the wire against the Chiefs.
Yep.
Kicking myself for leaving Gabe Davis on the bench right now.
Don't worry.
I'm kicking myself for not getting your Super Bowl prediction yet.
You guys just finished. Lick butt. I'm going Chargers Bucks.
I left the Bucks out of my teams I was running down.
You're going with old man Brady and the cursed Chargers, huh?
Yeah, Herbert's definitely going to be the one to break any curses ever established down there. Originally in San Diego.
You might need to make a sacrifice or something.
What was my bold prediction?
Stacked.
Justin Herbert would have 6,000 pass yards.
Yeah, that was. I mean, why not? Tom Brady threw for 5,400.
Justin Herbert threw for over 5. They were the two quarterbacks that threw for over 5,000 last year.
Yeah, and
I'll
I
take a look real
like the
quick.
Bills pick too. I just wanted to go change it up a little bit, especially just because I
I
think
mean,
the Chargers offense will be a little more prolific, but overall the Bills will have a better team throughout the regular season.
The Chargers are also sneakily beefing up that O-line.
Yeah, I mean, they added some weapons on defense.
Added they
J.C. Jackson,
Khalil Mack.
Khalil Mack. They traded for Khalil Mack. Yeah, exactly. Justin Herbert's the truth.
yeah, I mean,
He's the truth with some cheese on it.
Who was it with Justin Herbert? Who's the other quarterback?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
No. Bengals.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow. Yeah, I think I've talked about most of the time between us. I don't know if I've said it on the podcast that I prefer Justin Herbert over Joe Burrow.
I think
Joe Burrow just had that miracle playoff run, and
if you look at
the studs
playing quarterback at the purest level and ball placement and accuracy, I think after Aaron Rodgers is Joe Burrow.
It's a bold statement.
Herbert just has that cannon.
Joe Burrow just reminds me of Peyton Manning with just dropping the ball right where it needs to be every single route.
I'm a little rusty on my memory. I haven't watched any Joe Burrow highlights or anything this offseason. I can't remember. But prime Peyton Manning not only was super accurate, but like he had a cannon.
Yeah, well,
not a lot of people remember him with cannon. I don't see cannon with Joe Burrow in my opinion.
No, he does. He has 87 throw power in Madden.
Well, I mean, the Madden doesn't speak the truth, all truth.
But I mean,
he
it's
definitely had more than 87. The way I saw him hit Jamar Chase deep last year, ridiculous.
Listen, yeah, I would compare Joe Burrow if I had to pick somebody only after his second season. If I had to pick a comparison, I would say he looks like he's going to go more the Tom Brady career path. Not as far as winning and stuff, because that's probably never going to happen again. But as far as being methodical, and if he has Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and eventually more weapons throughout his career, that's going to be better than what Tom Brady's had.
To quote the great Joe Montana, good quarterbacks throw darts at balloons. Great quarterbacks throw balloons at darts.
Yeah. I don't know if I agree with that, but yes, that is a famous statement. What happens if you throw the dart so hard it pops all the balloons?
It's a metaphor for balls and receivers.
As long as they're not throwing
It's a metaphor for a crap metaphor.
So we got
Joe
Bills.
Montana was just jealous of Dan Marino's arm power.
We got Bills, Eagles, Chargers,
Bills,
Bucks, and then you were Bills, Rams, Trevor?
Yeah, that's out of respect for the Super Bowl champions. I'm not strong on that opinion.
Not the way this game's going right now.
Yeah, RJ had Chargers.
This could have been, well, as soon as you said it, I was going to be like, well, one of the matchups is happening as we speak, but...
Yeah. RJ, do you think that Tom Brady is going to have a really good year? Is that your main reasoning for Tampa Bay?
He's going to have a Brady-like year. I don't think
you just have faith in their defense and offense totally.
Yeah, I mean, maybe one of those like 3,800, 4,000 yard years for Brady.
Have you seen the memes of people
not
posting?
Breaking any records, but getting the job done all the same.
Have you seen the memes of people posting pictures of him saying the reason he missed the 2 weeks or whatever was because he got plastic surgery?
Nah, it was a colonoscopy gone bad.
He looked weird in his interview, his first interview back. I didn't hear that story, but since you said that, I watched the interview and I was like, he looks odd. I think
he might have been like dehydrated or something, because if you watch like some of the UFC fighters that cut weight, they get that like zombie sunken face looking thing. I just find it hard to believe that he would have actually gotten plastic surgery.
I doubt that's what it was, but he looked weird.
I'm gonna
pull it up anyways. I wanted to mention before when we were comparing quarterbacks that Justin Herbert and Josh Allen had almost identical seasons last year. Josh Allen 36-15, Herbert 38-15. Then Herbert had like 600 more yards passing.
Yeah.
Completion percentage was 63 for Josh Allen, 66 for Justin Herbert. So I mean, Justin Herbert's another one of those quarterbacks. Like right off the bat, his rookie year, some quarterbacks just like when the ball. I don't know how to explain it, but remember Justin Herbert's rookie year when he was throwing those deep balls and he was really like it was like a quarter away, midway through the season, and people were like, "Oh wow,
bombs away!"
Play. And he just throws a beautiful ball.
That dart to Keenan Allen, I think it was his rookie year when he was like crossbody throwing it was like a 20-yard pass in the end zone.
Was it against Tampa Bay? Was it against Tampa Bay that he almost out-dueled Tom Brady? Pretty sure it was.
His rookie
could have been.
I'm looking up a picture of Tom Brady.
He looks like a freaking zombie from World of Warcraft.
There he is. Yep. Something's going on here. Actually, it doesn't look bad in this picture.
I put a tapeworm in and didn't realize how bad it could actually get.
Well, also, when
it was not even just the face, though. His hair is wackadoo.
Wackadoo.
Like, whoever helped him do it that day, like
his assistant
must have done his hair that day.
His assistant didn't show up.
Where do I put the comb? Apparently, there's always going to be speculation about it, and I'm not trying to speculate a man's family life, but there's speculation that Giselle wasn't happy about him.
They're having like marriage trouble.
But apparently, I mean, what significant other wouldn't? You know, you're 45 years old. Get out of the league.
What are you doing out there, man?
Yeah.
Oh, well, to change the subject a little bit, did you guys see the report that the NFL is apparently going to start looking at training camp footage to potentially suspend and punish players?
I did. I only agree with it because it's two teams. You can't. I don't know if I haven't put a lot of thought into this thought, but if it's two teams, you have to have a neutral party to, you know, like that's like, does it make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's 100% because of friggin' Aaron Donald going gladiator with the helmets, and the league's like, we're not going to punish Aaron Donald, but moving forward, we don't want players doing this.
Well, it's hard to jump in right because they've never done it. I mean,
set an example.
Yeah. They've been doing these joint practices for so long during training.
But when has a player grabbed two helmets and tried to murder an entire team before?
Well, that was after he got pushed and it was breaking up anyway. I don't think he actually swung either of those helmets.
Oh, he did.
Oh yeah, there's a video of it. You just see the helmets like over top.
No, I don't know if you see him like continuously, but you see it's kind of the same thing Myles Garrett did, where he brought the hammer over top and smacked somebody right in the head. But they had a helmet on too.
Instead of where Mason Rudolph was fresh.
Who are they?
Fresh headed.
I'm shocked. Yeah.
Who are the Rams scrimmaging?
It was Bengals.
What would you do if the Bengals?
Weird. Why would you do that?
What would you do if the Bengals player got hit, took a dive, and they're like, "Oh, Aaron Donald knocked out one of our best players. You guys suspended him for the whole year just to get payback for the Super Bowl."
Yeah,
that'd be hilarious.
It definitely wasn't a great idea.
Not to get off topic, but did you hear the report that apparently their agent, Aaron Donald's agent, handed in a retirement letter to the Rams to give to the league, and they didn't. And then the next day, they had the negotiations that sparked him coming back and not retiring. I'm like, Sean McVay walked in there, is like, "Where's that letter? Burn it." But yeah, back to the initial question. I think with joint practices, if it's going to be something like that crazy, like regular pushing and shoving, if he had never like used the weapons helmets as a weapon, I would say leave it alone. Like fights happen in everyone's training camp, almost every practice, at least
even against the same team.
Yeah,
it's your own brothers you're fighting.
Exactly, and if it's the same team and your team alone,
Oh, Stafford's
that's on that team to decide because that's their players. So you're not helping yourself by suspending a player a game or cutting them out of practice for a week or whatever they do. I don't know what they do, or fining them.
Fine.
But like, yeah, if Aaron Donald swings his helmet at another team, Sean McVay's not going to be like, yeah, I want to suspend this guy for hitting another team. So
Yeah, but I'm sure the Bengals coach does.
Well, exactly. So, but then the Bengals coach doesn't have the authority to be like, suspend him. It's got to be on the league.
I'll call up Goodell. You won't believe what Aaron Donald's out here doing. It's madness.
Yeah, he's a madman.
But it's also Aaron Donald. He's one of the faces of the league.
Would have been hilarious if someone. Would have been hilarious if someone on the Bengals dropped him.
Well, technically they did. There was a whole group of guys, but still.
Ooh, oh, he got it. Sorry.
Well, you know what I remember?
I'm behind you. Better stab it.
Trevor, or like RJ too. Do you remember that big defensive tackle that used to play for the Browns? He played for the Browns and the Lions.
Big defensive tackles.
Sean Rogers. Remember him?
Yeah.
And it was when he was playing for the Browns, I think he was against, it might have been against the Ravens, I'm not sure. And a fight broke out. And he literally went and grabbed like both the Ravens offensive linemen by their like collar of their shoulder pads and like had them on like the tippy toes of their feet, holding them up just to stop them from fighting. And I was just like, how strong is this dude?
It's more than man, he's a god.
Basically.
There was
something I really need his own line for that one.
Something I wanted to ask you guys and talk about, but I need to find it. Oh, it
should have been delayed game.
Taylor, we were talking about it earlier this week, but the Russell Wilson reports.
Yes.
Russell Wilson says,
listen.
Oh, this is a new report I didn't see, but apparently Russell Wilson's saying the Seahawks tried to trade him a couple times,
why not?
Hasn't he been requesting a trade for like 2 years?
Yeah, I honestly don't even like Pete Carroll that much, but I thought with Pete Carroll, Russell, he seems like he's turned into a diva like the last few years.
Agreed.
Did you hear all the reports, RJ?
About Russ?
Yeah.
But I did know he did definitely request. He definitely wanted out of there 2 years ago.
So
he
apparently,
played one more season.
Yeah, the way I took the reports is that the Seahawks wanted him out a little bit too, because apparently after the 2019 season, that was the season Lamar won MVP, Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Russell
Wilson had a really good year, and it was, I can't remember which game it was, but apparently it was a game where Russell Wilson could have solidified his spot in the MVP rankings and possibly jumped ahead of Lamar or stayed ahead of Lamar at that point. But they were up 24-0, and Russell Wilson only threw the ball 4 times in the second half. Apparently he blamed Pete Carroll for that and a couple other things that season. So saying Pete Carroll cost him the MVP that year. Then in 2020, apparently there was a couple of plays, which I'm not saying I've watched all of Russell Wilson's throws and plays to know if this is facts, but apparently somebody in the Seattle's front office said there would be times where Russell Wilson could run for a first down or something like that, make the easy play, and he would try to throw downfield for a touchdown and get intercepted. And they were fed up with it. And the quote was, "Are we trying to win MVPs or games here?" So, I mean, if there was that much
fair
going
point.
On,
yeah, I mean, if he's pulling up, worried about personal accolades over winning football games, that could be an issue.
Apparently, that's something I would say there's probably 2 or 3 seasons where Russell Wilson was in the MVP conversation and could have gotten it, and I don't know if I would have been mad about it. But yeah, I mean, that's the one thing that's kind of eluded him. He's got the Pro Bowls, the All Pros. He's got the Super Bowl.
Ooh.
Whoa. That was a big play.
Yeah, it was a nice run.
Should have 2 Super Bowls. That's another thing Taylor and I were talking about. Hearing those reports makes me wonder if Russell Wilson is really that way, like self-centered on wanting to better his accolades. Do you think that it was he went up to Pete Carroll in the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
It was like, let me win it, coach. Put the ball in my hand, and that's why they didn't run Marshawn Lynch up the middle. Could you imagine that?
Sitting on the bench eating Skittles, not paying attention to what's going on, and Russell Wilson's at Pete Carroll's. You were like, I got this.
We were talking.
You got to think that like somebody thought that. I mean,
we were talking a couple days ago, and we were like, could you imagine if they were mic'd up and like a couple days after the Super Bowl, you hear Russell Wilson go, "Put the ball in my hand, coach. I'll win us the game," and he throws the interception.
There had to be mic'd up for somebody on that, but I can't remember.
Darrell Henderson just knocked the shit out of Mike.
Yeah, I saw it. That's what
that was a couple plays ago, but still.
Yeah, when I was talking, I was like, "Ooh."
He said, "I'm the number." He
said,
Cooper Kupp.
I'm the number one running back now.
The Triple Crown strikes again. What you gonna do about it? Give him a 99, man. Do it. You know you want to.
I mean, he deserves it. How do you win the Triple Crown? I mean, not to get all way off into Madden talk, but how do you win the Triple Crown and not get a 99?
I didn't know he wasn't a 99.
Especially
What is he?
98.
98, yeah.
Devontae
Adams.
99. Devontae
Adams.
I mean, I'm not going to complain about that, but I mean, make Cooper Kupp a 99.
Oh, well, speaking of Madden, I also got my first win of our franchise season, cheese and rice.
Nice.
Tough.
That was a really good catch.
It was. The feet were tippy-tapping. Looking good.
Well, to keep this show rolling along, you guys,
back, baby.
That sounds like that would be like the
Fire
intro.
Just comes up.
Yeah, that would be like the intro to like some like wing ad. Fire comes up, and then like a batch of wings drops.
And they're like falling into ranch or blue cheese or something.
Get yourself a nice little wing.
Like a new spicy barbecue flavor.
Oh, Sasher on TV.
Is it the Rock commercial?
That was Jack Link's commercial.
Oh yeah, I'm with Trevor. I got the Shazam commercial right now.
Oh, lame-o.
I'm not Shazam.
It's a Popeyes commercial. They're tossing wings around. That was perfect. Distracted.
So back on
really
topic.
Off topic there, didn't you?
Yeah, it was a good ad voice, I thought. But I'm gonna edit it in the post and make it high pitched.
Oh no, the deeper the better.
Football's back, boys.
Woo!
What were you gonna say though, Taylor? You had a topic.
Yeah. Do you guys, if you don't, no big deal. Do you guys have a player that's maybe not super big time that you think is gonna break out? Whether it be just in real life or fantasy wise, a player you have like I know we all get hunches on players. Like when RJ was telling me that Martavis Bryant was going to be great, and I was like, "Who's this sucker?" And then Martavis Bryant, before he got kicked out of the league, is balling. RJ is the only one I know who even knew who he was.
That's because DeAndre Hopkins came out the freaking same year from the same school.
So are you saying anything from a rookie, a player that's good last year but's not quite on that level?
Yeah,
of
like if you think
recognition,
if you think like there's like a good player that might go nuclear, or a rookie you got a feeling about, or
because we're watching the game and I already mentioned it, I do think Gabe Davis could have a 15 touchdown year, 1,200 yards, nothing crazy. But I could definitely see him. They said during the offseason they wanted to make him a bigger part of the offense and target him more. So, I mean, 85 catches, 1,300 yards, 15 touchdowns.
And yet
he was really the first person that came to mind when you brought it up.
And yet you didn't draft him in any of your fantasy leagues.
Higher profile now. He's the official number 2.
I tried my hardest.
I have one. I already talked to you guys about it. I think Chase Edmonds is going to pop off for the Dolphins. I imagine they're going to try and run a similar offense to what the Niners ran last year. He has 2 of the fastest receivers in the league on the outside. They're going to do a lot of pre-snap motions to get the defense to show their hand. He's never been a starter, but games when he got to start, I mean, he's never been a team's number 1, but games when he got to start due to injury, he was really efficient. He's a well-rounded back. Has some speed, has some catching ability, can run between the tackles. I think if given the opportunity in Miami, he could make a name for himself. Just for
Yeah, I mean, he was banged up a little bit last year,
Arizona.
but I mean, you look at the previous 2 years, his yards per attempt was 4.6 and 5.1, and he had 53 catches and 43 catches. So I mean,
just think how hard it's going to be to load. Even though we don't, I think you guys agree with me. I don't know how many teams are going to be afraid of Tua throwing the ball downfield, but just because of the offense and having Waddle and Hill, it's going to be so hard to load the box.
do you think he's going to be used as more of a featured back? Did you already say that? Sorry.
I think,
Or do you think he's just going to pop off as like a receiving back?
I think he's going to be the featured back. I could be
Featured
wrong.
back like a bell cow, or featured back as like, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but
I think
hope
he's
it
going to
makes
get.
sense.
I think he could get at least minimum 200 touches, 200 carries, 200 carries.
Yeah, I mean, if he gets 200 carries and he holds his average, which he's going back to 2019, he averaged 5 yards an attempt. It was only 60 attempts, but if he does 4.5 to 5 yards an attempt, which is around his career average, I mean, that's 1,000 yards right there. So, and then give him, 60, 70 catches on top of that. If he's that kind of back, that's a Pro Bowl year right there.
Indeed.
I think he's going to be good.
Yeah.
He's a little undersized, but I mean, if they hold him to 20,
It's 2022. All right, don't care about undersized backs.
Yeah. Well, if he didn't get shot, I would definitely say Brian Robinson was set for a prime season, rookie year, ready to pop off. I think he was good.
And I really liked him at Alabama. And I thought it was kind of funny because I went from going, wow, I'm really surprised that all these experts have him ranked so low. And I get the value of running backs have disappeared unless you're like, the Christian McCaffrey build. But then Washington drafts him, and then everyone's like, well, there goes Washington overdrafting a running back. And I think it's unfortunate because I think he would have had a big role for them.
Yeah, I remember Brent, we brought him up. When we were doing our pre-draft stuff. He was one of the running backs we talked about. I talked about. I liked him for his size, and for his one direction movements, just getting past, getting to where he needs to get, putting that shoulder down and laying it. Yeah.
I have one more, and throughout the preseason, some of my thunder's been stolen on this one. I think Cole Kmet for the Bears. I
remember you talked about him, yeah.
He was a really good tight end at Notre Dame. He's 6'6". I think he's like 250, 260. He's a throwback tight end. He's physical, plays through contact, will go up and get the tough catches. I think he's going to be Justin Fields' security blanket all year long. And I think he can do. I don't think he's quite as much of a bully, but I think he's very similar to what Dallas Goedert brings to Philadelphia.
Yeah, I think Justin Fields will have a decent year given the team he's on in the situation. I think he himself might do okay.
You mentioning the Bears, I would say he's pretty. I don't know if he's fits the criteria for what you're asking, but I mean, same team, Darnell Mooney. People are high on him for having a big year. I mean, he had 1,000 yards last year, so.
Mm-hmm. Was he a rookie? No, it was second year.
Second year.
Yeah.
Listen, he had 81 catches, 1,000 yards, and 4 touchdowns. But I mean, if he's going to be the premier receiver, the wide receiver one that people think he can be, and that third year, that's the year for the receiver, right? So I mean, if he gets into that 1,400 yard range.
Darnell Mooney, he's explosive. I won't say his route tree is limited, but you kind of know what he's bringing to the table. He's just going to try and if you're a corner and he's your guy, he's going to make you work the entire game. And for being an undersized, fast receiver, he has really good body control and tracking, to where even if you are on him, he kind of can turn. He does that little the shout him out, the Brett basket catch. It's just a little shoulder turn and just right there every time.
Those concentration catches.
Yeah. And I think the Bears are going to try and make his life a little bit easier, maybe get him a little more underneath catches.
Now, this one's a little bit of a wild card for me because I don't really have faith that they're going to use him the way as a bell cow. But if healthy and used as a bell cow, Miles Sanders could easily get 1,500 yards and
love to see
over
that.
10 touchdowns.
Sorry for the.
I would love to see it too.
Josh Allen
Mainly
just
for
threw another
fantasy
pick.
for me, but... Oh, jeez.
Josh Allen just threw another pick.
Did you hear what I said?
No.
Literally 2 seconds. I went. Josh Allen just threw a pick. 2 seconds later, Josh Allen just threw a pick.
I was saying my thought, and I was thinking about my thought, and I looked down to watch him throw, and it was like a big throw, and I was like, "Yeah, there's them fantasy points," and then it was picked.
That's one of those throws where. That's one of those throws where, when the receiver starts to slow down over the middle and man coverage, and the cornerback's just hauling after him, you gotta really gun it in there.
That was the receiver's fault in my opinion.
Jamison Crowder, surprise.
He sat. It wasn't even zone coverage. He sat in it. Like, why didn't you keep crossing across the field? I think Josh Allen could have led him more and let him run to it. 50-50 blame. Anyways, back to what we were talking about though. Miles
Sanders.
Yeah, I think he if used properly and he's healthy, there's no reason why he can't be a Pro Bowl running back.
Yeah.
And that might be a little biased for me, but I mean, he has a historically good rushing average.
His efficiency is off. Sometimes I feel like, I don't know if it's even playing hurt, but I feel like there's been some games where the physicality is not quite there, but his efficiency numbers have always been really good.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's his biggest problems with his game is the injuries. Those nagging hamstring injuries drive me crazy for any player.
Well, wait till you get AJ Brown.
Yeah, don't put that on me. And then the catching, his hands are kind of doo-doo. And he was pretty sure coming out of Penn State, he was a good catching back.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really know. That could hold him back.
I don't have the stats to back that up, but I feel like he was.
Yeah. I like Romeo Dubs in Green Bay.
Yeah, out of Nevada.
Mm-hmm. I think he could really find himself a place there. They don't have a lot of options at wide receiver. He's a year with a bang.
He's a boundary receiver. I think Aaron Rodgers like him.
Yeah, LaFleur said there's no one in the receiving core, which sucks for anybody who has Lazard on their fantasy team.
Yeah, well, definitely not Sammy Watkins.
I think Lazard's hurt too.
Yeah.
And they have that other rookie, Christian Watson, but I thought he was overrated. I didn't like him. You're this big speed freak wide receiver playing at North Dakota, and you weren't exposing those players. So why would people think you're going to start exposing NFL DBs?
Yeah,
but
I got one. Just gonna throw out there for RJ, Jahan Dotson.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say him too, but we had talked about what I thought his stats would be this year before, and I didn't want to seem like too much of a homer by saying him.
Yeah, man, you're the biggest homer I know.
I mean, we pay attention.
Yeah, no, 100% Jahan Dotson. I think Terry's gonna have his best season yet with the best quarterback he's had himself.
I wouldn't be surprised if Jahan gets 100 targets.
Yeah, love to see it. Drafted in the first round for a reason. People love to hate on the pick.
Just because of where we're from, we hear about it a little bit more often. Do you guys think Rashad Bateman could have a big year if healthy?
He can really solidify the
what's the
number one spot.
definition
He
of
has the
big?
opportunity to.
What's big year? Like in 1,000 yards, or like
I would
actually?
say for him over 1,000 yards and 8
8
touchdowns
touchdowns, I would say 8 to 10 touchdowns.
because he only had 1
I
touchdown last year and 500 yards.
I would put his over under at 900 yards. That's where I feel comfortable.
So not having an improvement for a second, but not like a pop off year.
Just because I think the offense, I think Isaiah likely is going to be a big part of it. I think they should be much better at running the ball. If
We'll see about that.
But likely and Mark Andrews are probably going to be dominating the middle of the field. So how often are they going to have Bateman come over the middle? And Lamar Jackson, historically, he's not like the greatest at throwing that intermediate to medium outside. If he's going to throw outside, he wants to throw down the sideline. But who knows? I like Bateman. I liked him out of Minnesota. I was a big fan of him.
Give me 1 second here.
I think depending on what happens there in Tampa, Russell Gage could have a good year with Godwin if Godwin goes down.
Well, that's what I was saying. People were hyping up Julio, and I'm like, when Russell Gage was a 3 for Atlanta, he was lighting it up.
Yeah, and Julio's definitely 4.
So I think he would fit perfectly in for Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw a couple people. I don't know. They're gonna play Julio. They wouldn't have signed him if they're not gonna use him.
They can play him all they want if his legs aren't gonna let him though.
That's true. And they did lose Gronk, so.
Oh my God, this is a terrible quarterback game.
Stafford scrambled for that first down. That's last.
Yeah, Phillips just sacked him again.
Oh, at least they're in field goal range. They can tie up.
Must be the elbow tendonitis.
Well, they may knock
speed
him out
in the legs.
It's like it's on second down, third down. They could. No, so now it's second down. Yeah, they could still get into field goal range, tie it up before the half's over. Josh Allen kind of played him out of that lead right there.
We'll see. Got 26 seconds on the clock. It's a fun game to watch. The turnovers, the both big arm quarterbacks thrown to really good receivers.
We said potential Super Bowl matchup.
Where's Allen Robinson at?
He has.
I saw him get a catch. I saw him get that catch. It was a decent catch, but I can look. Yeah, number 18. I can't say his name.
Skronik or whatever.
Yeah, Skronik. Yeah, he's gotten more looks than Allen Robinson has so far. Ben Skronik or something.
Cooper Kupp just lost yards on a receiver screen.
Just thinking of players here. I'm looking at contracts and stuff.
Michael Pittman with Matt Ryan in there in Indy. I think Michael Pittman. He's the best receiver easily, but he can.
I don't think Matt Ryan's gonna elevate. I think Matt Ryan maybe will bring a level of consistency to the Colts, but I've been listening to a lot of the talk shows, and they're like, they finally got rid of Carson Wentz. Matt Ryan, he's gonna lead them to the promised land. I'm just like, their numbers are probably gonna be similar by the end of the year.
I agree with you. But there's a difference between Carson Wentz's stats and more consistent play. If Matt Ryan puts up the same numbers that Carson Wentz did for the Colts, that's going to be a more efficient quarterback play, in my opinion. Carson Wentz has those scrambling play. Not hating on your boy either. I think he's going to have a better year than he did last year. Yeah, I saw your blood boiling.
But
I think
at
Carson
the same time,
Wentz
27. People need respect.
I think Carson Wentz is going to have a good year, but he just makes he makes poor timed decisions. He fumbles the ball. He takes sacks. He loses yards. He throws inaccurate passes at poor times, but he's done it his whole career, and he still puts up touchdowns and low interceptions. If Matt Ryan's not going to make the take the bad sacks, he's not going to fumble
He
the ball a
also
lot.
isn't going to scramble for first down here and there.
Carson Wentz can barely run. He looks like he's got a fake leg.
He only got sacked like twice all preseason.
But Matt Ryan, he doesn't run at all.
I don't think that's a big part of the Colts offense last year.
Just saying.
Well, that's
Josh
Jonathan
Allen.
Taylor. Not John.
Jonathan Taylor, yeah.
Josh Allen. Billy
I
Bob
think-
Thornton.
Back to the original statement of Pittman, though. I think he's going to have a good year. I do agree with Taylor. I don't think he's going to be elevated because of Matt Ryan. But I think they
He
threw
was
to him. He had a
literally
ton of targets
he
last
was
year for
literally
Carson
their
Wentz.
only receiver last year besides Mo Alley Cox.
Yeah, and it was his rookie year though, so I'm saying you're
Yeah.
That was his
I
second
like
year last year.
Yeah,
Was
third
it?
year.
This is third year.
That's exactly even better. Prime
Yeah.
for that breakout season.
I do like Pittman. Yeah, I think he'll have a better year last year just because that should be the trend for a player like him. And I do think Matt Ryan, where regardless of age, can elevate a team just with his savvy quarterback
Applebee's is
play.
all you can eat boneless wings for $12.99.
And back to last, I feel strongly about this, mostly because I watched a ton of Carson Wentz. That would have never happened to most quarterbacks in the last game in Jacksonville. That was a prototypical Carson Wentz meltdown, trying to make plays when they're not there, flinging the ball up in the air and fumbling it and throwing. Yeah, just trying to do too much. That's been his problem ever since 2017. He's trying to prove something, whether it's to himself or his coaches or the fans or something. If he doesn't do that, I don't think those ridiculous plays happen.
Throw the damn ball.
Where maybe it's a 60-yard touchdown, maybe it's a fumble, maybe it's a sack, maybe it's an interception. Matt Ryan might not get you the 50-yard touchdown, but he's not going to give up the fumble or the sack.
For as many boneheaded plays and choke jobs as Carson Wentz does, he doesn't have the greatest collapse in NFL history.
That was a team collapse.
I know.
To me, Matt Ryan did his job and put up 28 points. I take that back. The defense scored a point, 7 points.
A point.
But that was a team collapse.
No, I was just messing on.
You said it. Now the Atlanta fans are going to come for blood. Remember, people, West Side said it. I didn't. I had Matt Ryan.
Listen, I like Atlanta. I like Arthur Smith, Kyle Pitts, Mariota, Drake London.
And any Carson Wentz heat that comes my way, I deflect it. I was the biggest Carson Wentz defender. All you guys can both attest to that. He broke my heart.
I bought you his jersey.
I'm gonna give him the kiss of death if I ever see him. He broke my heart.
Or did he bring you Super Bowl by getting hurt that year?
I do sometimes think that if he was healthy for the playoffs, we wouldn't have won the Super Bowl.
That whole playoff run, Nick Foles had that just effort attitude. I don't even belong here.
Every once in a while, I'll watch the Super Bowl. YouTube, you can do the 15-minute game highlights. So I'll pull up those playoff games with Nick Foles. That Falcons game was literally the gods were like, Nick Foles, you're going to win the Super Bowl this year. The Vikings game was miraculous too because we destroyed the Vikings. But that Atlanta game, 15-10, or whatever it was, and it was super windy that day. I don't know if you guys remember this, but it was near the end of the half, and he threw a prayer up down the middle of the field. Who was the Atlanta safety? Neal?
Mm-hmm. When he hit the ball and it bounced to Torrey Smith.
He jumped in the air, would have hit him right in the chest to catch it, but he lifted his knee up, and the ball hit him in the knee because of the wind, and it shot 20 yards back towards the line of scrimmage. Torrey Smith called it and ran for 20 yards. The biggest play of the game, in my opinion. I think we got a field goal out of that, in which that game, any points you can take. Yeah. Can't remember why we were talking about that, but yeah.
Because I brought up the Falcons collapse and when it to Carson Wentz getting hurt to maybe bringing Nick Foles to win y'all.
Oh yeah, all this because we thought Michael Pittman could have a good year. Down
Separate
the
topic.
whole
Did
rabbit
you guys see
hole.
how bad Ozzy's looking in the halftime show? Oof.
Well, I don't have
Retire,
the sound
man.
on, but I mean, if he's jamming, he's jamming.
Who?
Do this thing. Ozzy
He just looks
Osbourne.
like a ghost. He looked like a ghost.
He still performs?
Apparently, I didn't know that.
He's out there
Thought
right
he was,
now.
like, retiring.
Apparently,
He's
yeah,
pretty
apparently he's
rough.
moving out of the States too. Oh, America, son. America's horrible.
What have we covered? Fantasy, breakout players. All right, here's one. Again, while we're still fresh in the beginning of the season, is there a team that the general public is really high on that you're a little worried about?
Worried about? No. Dallas.
Here it goes.
When you say worry, as in like worry that they will not live up to the standards of what everybody's saying, or worried about they're actually really freaking good and I don't want to play them?
Worried about them not being as good.
Oh, yeah. Cowgirls suck balls.
There's different levels to these. Packers, I feel like people are really, really high on still. At least they were. I've seen people on like in the media and stuff still pick them for a Super Bowl contender. I just don't see it. It's possible with Aaron Rodgers, and they still have weapons on like the running backs and whatnot, but I don't think they're a Super Bowl contender.
I'm definitely low on the Packers.
Cowboys, I mean, I think people have kind of cooled down on them this year, recognizing that the Eagles got better and they got worse. But I don't see the Cowboys as a contender. There's one more team. Give me a second. Chiefs.
I was gonna say Chiefs too. Get on my head, boy.
I was gonna say Chiefs. I think their defense is just been getting worse every year. They are short, and one of the playmaker in the league right now, Tyreek Hill.
The most
Their
stacked
run
division in the
game,
league.
their run game has been non-existent, and like RJ just said, Broncos, Raiders, Chargers are all basically loaded.
I think it could be a. I don't know. It's gonna be tough.
If Andy Reid wasn't their coach, I would be like, this is probably not a playoff team.
Yeah, I mean that's hard to say. I mean they could win 10 games this year and not make the playoffs. And I think it's gonna be hard for them to win more than 10 games.
AFC is gonna be a bloodbath.
Yeah.
Literally, if you don't win your division, it's gonna be like that. What was it? The year the NFC was loaded and the Buccaneers won 10 games and missed the playoffs. It was with Josh Freeman.
I mean the Eagles were 10-6 with Chip Kelly's second year and missed the playoffs.
Yeah, but the AFC this year is it's like if you don't win your division, like especially with the 17
now?
weeks,
7 teams in the playoffs now. So I mean, Bills are making the playoffs. Chargers are making the playoffs. I'm just going through each division one at a time. I think Ravens are making the playoffs, and Titans are making the playoffs. That's who I think will win those divisions. So that's 4. Dolphins.
I'm gonna say no.
Raiders.
I like the Raiders.
I like the
Raiders
too.
making the playoffs.
Yeah, I think the Raiders make the
Bengals.
I think the Bengals will. I think the Bengals
Bengals
will
making the
division
playoffs.
again.
Okay, that's 6 teams. There's one more spot. Colts, Chiefs, Broncos, Dolphins.
Yeah,
it's tough.
Yeah.
All of those teams, I think, could
maybe Colts have an advantage because they don't have to beat up on a stacked division like the Broncos and all them do. They get
Dolphins too. I mean, they should be able to beat the Patriots twice and the Jets twice. So that's 4 wins.
I'm worried about the Dolphins defense. I know they got Byron Jones and Xavier Howard, and then they got Javon Holland. I'm just worried about their front seven.
Yeah, I mean, if they have trouble getting to the quarterback, which they did last year, didn't they? If they can be decent against the run, to have, like you just mentioned, they have talent in the back end that it could make up for that a little bit. It's just so hard nowadays. I think for the most part, though, I mean, Tua, obviously, is he going to play well or not? And then they have the new coach,
McConnell.
What's his name?
McConnell? Is it McConnell?
Mike McDaniels.
Is it McDaniel? Yeah, you had it right then.
Mike McDaniels. I couldn't remember if it was McDaniels. But yeah, Mike McDaniels, if he's going to be a good head coach, those are the two big question marks for me. Because, I mean, they have talent. But, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be tough. Tough year in the AFC. And the Chiefs could be in. I mean, there's different levels to it when you initially ask the question because, like, I don't think the Chiefs are going to be a bad team, but like people are still marking. I think people are still marking them as Super Bowl contenders, and I think they're possibly not going to make the playoffs. And then that's the same thing for the Packers. Those would probably be my two main ones. And then Cowboys a little bit less. I think most people would say Cowboys aren't Super Bowl contenders, but I think the Cowboys, if you look at their record, they could be like 2-5 to start the year. They got
a tough schedule.
Bengals.
It's rough.
Giants.
Man.
Commanders. Rams.
Challenge. Yeah, tough.
Eagles. Lions.
Yeah.
Bears. Packers.
Yeah.
Oh
so,
my!
I think you can mark down Bengals, Rams, at Eagles, Packers,
Matt Stafford
Commanders.
just tied Drew Brees for the fewest games to 50,000 pass yards.
Oh, impressive.
All right.
Tied
What?
Drew Brees fewest games to 50,000 yards.
How do y'all think? Back to the player thing. How do y'all think Brees Hall is going to do this year? Zach
I have
Wilson's-
no faith in anything Jets.
I'm worried about
he has the
their.
talent.
I'm worried about their O line a little bit since Mackay Becty, right? Since he
I
got
don't know how to
hurt
say it.
and he's gone for the year. But I think Michael Carter is a very good running back. Like, people are assuming that Michael Carter is going to get kicked to the curb and Brees Hall is just going to take over. I think it's probably going to be a 50-50 share.
Well, the reason why I think most people think that is because running backs are so. Running backs don't have the same. They're viewed. You know what I'm trying to say.
One day you're a
can't
treasure, the next day you're trash.
No, but running backs they're not valued as much as they used to be. And Brees Hall was a first round pick and second round?
Second round.
Whatever, second round. Might as well be first. And then Michael Carter was like a fifth rounder?
Second.
You lie.
I could be lying.
Yeah. He was good in PPR leagues last year, too. I remember specifically.
I have to Google this. Michael Carter.
Fourth round pick.
Okay, that was off a little bit.
Speaking of Brees Hall,
you're
though,
gonna be
too.
wrong on both.
In Chai's, by the way, he had a complete MCL tear. He's out for 37 weeks. So.
Dang it. Okay, Brees Hall was a 36. He's 36. That's 4 picks away from the first round.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
a fringe.
I knew he was
He's
a
a
second
fringe.
rounder.
He's a fringe first rounder, and Michael Carter is a
his
fifth rounder.
His athletic profile was in like the 98th percentile. He's in the Saquon, Jonathan Taylor athletic category. I don't think he's as good as either of those, but I just think people are acting like Brees Hall is like going to be, because it's like every other year there's a rookie that almost leads the league in rushing or does. And people are acting like it's going to be him. I just think on that team with Michael Carter. Don't get me wrong. I think he's going to be good or has the potential to be very, very good. But I'm not expecting it this year.
I just think it's a level of investment that a team puts towards a position that's already not valued high. When you invest a high second-round pick into a player, you're not going to want to limit their growth by forcing a that's a bad take, because if the 5th round guy is more talented, which is possible, maybe you would rather have him. I don't know. It's hard for me to say because I don't really know what the point I'm trying to make is. And let's go on to the next topic.
Well, do we have anything else we want to discuss?
Football's back.
All right, now you just sound like Vecna.
Yeah, that was definitely Vecna. That's pretty cool. Didn't know I could do that.
No, I mean, we got Super Bowl predictions, player predictions.
Here's a brain buster. This game, first game of the year, is 10-10. Who's going to win?
Bills.
I
picked the Bills before the game started. I'm not going to change my pick now.
Yeah, the Bills had 3 turnovers in the first half. Take away that, and they probably have 20-something points.
I'll be honest.
Stafford just had a bad fumble. It wasn't recovered by the Bills, but now they have to punt out of their own end zone. So
that's what I'm saying.
I'll be honest. I picked the Rams, but I think the Bills are going to win after what I've seen in the first half.
Yeah.
Paying attention, I haven't paid attention to the whole game, but from what I've seen, the Rams haven't been moving the ball as well. They had the one good drive. The Bills have been moving the ball. They just have 3 turnovers.
Yeah,
I think the Bills have played a very bad first half, and they still look like the better team.
Stafford looks a little rusty.
It is 9:56 on Thursday, the 8th. We will remember. This is stamped. Our predictions are now in lot. They're solidified, so no one can say we BS it when we get it right. We get it right.
Do we all pick the Bills?
Yeah.
Yes.
And they're going to be like, it's the first game of the season. Bring me something more valuable.
Oh, the picks are coming.
Yeah, I'm going to have to work on some
parlay.
Some lock of the weeks.
Honestly, though, did you guys see the half-point parlay card?
No.
There's some juicy games on there. I think the Eagles are -3.5 over the Lions. I'm like, taking that. We got Washington -2.5 over Jacksonville. I'm like 2.5. If we win, it's going to be by a field goal.
Colts were like 6.5 over the Texans.
Yeah, the Ravens they're -7.5 over the Jets. I see the Ravens winning by 2 touchdowns. Personally,
yeah, I'm sorry. I meant Colts are -6.5. Yeah, I think that game.
Like this first card of the week is looking juicy. I like it.
So what happens?
Well, football's back, as RJ said. I think that's going to conclude it for our first launch episode for the 2022 season. For any of you first-time viewers, this is No Interference. Once again, we're your hosts, Westside, Big Sass, and the Bull. Now the season's here, we're going to be giving you fresh content every week, as much as we can. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, share. All that helps spread the show. Drop a comment. Let us know who you think's going to win this game, even though this video's not going to be up till like Saturday. Let us know who you thought was going to win, or their player you thought sucked, their player that popped off.
Who might go off on Sunday?
Yeah, we'll have something for Sunday for you. But that'll do it. So, adios.
See you later.
Peace.